In Hawaii, they say the ocean gives life, but the land shapes destiny. Here in Waianae, where the beaches are postcard perfect, but the streets will test your soul, a skinny kid with big dreams and fast hands was about to change MMA forever. This isn't just the story of a champion, this is the story of Max Holloway, the boy who fought his way out, then fought his way to immortality. Max Holloway, blessed, is a fighter like no other. From Hawaii's rough streets to the UFC's biggest stages, he's won titles, broken records, and stolen hearts with his relentless style and aloha spirit. This is the story of how a kid from Waianae became a legend. Born December 4th, 1991, Max Holloway's childhood was a roller coaster. His parents split when he was 11. Money was tight. But Max found escape in two things: the ocean and fighting. At 12, he walked into Waianae's boxing gym with a question: how do I get good? The coach laughed. Start by getting hit less. So Max did, every day after school, taking the bus 2 hours just to get punched in the face for free. In 2012, the UFC needed a sacrificial lamb for a rising star named Dustin Poirier. Max, just 20 years old with 4 pro fights, raised his hand. He lost that night. But as he stared at the ceiling afterward, he made a promise: I'm coming back, and I'm going to be the best. What followed was a masterclass in reinvention. Max wasn't just winning, he was evolving. The brawler became a surgeon. The kid who got taken down now stuffed takedowns. The boy who swung wild now picked opponents apart like a Hawaiian Floyd Mayweather. But one man stood in his way: Jose Aldo, the king of 145 pounds, the most feared striker in MMA, the mountain Max had to climb. June 3rd, 2017. The fight was supposed to be Aldo's coronation. Instead, it was Holloway's revolution. For 3 rounds, Max absorbed Aldo's bombs like a tsunami wall. Then, in round 3, he broke the unbreakable. Punches in bunches. A knockdown. Then another. The referee pulled him off, and just like that, the kid from Waianae was UFC champion. As champion, Max didn't just defend belts, he put on clinics. The Brian Ortega fight? A 25-minute striking exhibition that left T-City a bloody mess. The Frankie Edgar bout, a masterclass in footwork. But then came Alexander Volkanovski. The first fight was close, the second? Closer. But in the trilogy, Volk's precision proved too much. For the first time in years, Max wasn't king anymore. So let's know about his fights more. Max Holloway's UFC career is a highlight reel of heart, hustle, and history-making moments. With a 26-8 record, 12 knockouts, and a UFC record 2,966 significant strikes landed, he's redefined featherweight fighting. His journey began at UFC 143 in 2012, where, at just 20, he faced Dustin Poirier. Though he lost via submission, his grit earned respect. Max quickly rebounded, racking up wins with his high-volume striking and unyielding durability. In 2012, he TKO'd Justin Lawrence at UFC 150, landing crisp combos that showcased his potential. The next year, he outworked Leonard Garcia at UFC Fight Night 26, winning a unanimous decision in a chaotic brawl that had fans buzzing. By 2014, Max was a force, submitting Andre Fili at UFC 172 and dominating Clay Collard at UFC Fight Night 49, proving he could finish fights on the ground and standing. His 2015 breakout saw him TKO veteran Cub Swanson at UFC on Fox 15, landing 104 significant strikes in a one-sided beatdown, kicking off a legendary 13-fight win streak. That streak included a submission of Charles Oliveira at UFC Fight Night 74, where Max capitalized on Oliveira's injury, and a decision over Jeremy Stevens at UFC 194, outstriking a tough vet. In 2016, he battered Ricardo Lamas at UFC 199, landing 139 strikes, and then stopped Anthony Pettis at UFC 206 with a third-round TKO to claim the interim featherweight title, yelling, "I'm the champ." The pinnacle came in 2017 at UFC 212 in Rio, where Max faced Jose Aldo, a featherweight legend. Max overwhelmed Aldo with 123 significant strikes, finishing him in the third round to unify the featherweight belt, a defining moment at age 25. He defended the title twice, a TKO rematch with Aldo at UFC 218 and a doctor's stoppage against Brian Ortega at UFC 231, where Max landed 290 strikes, a career high. But 2019 brought challenges. At UFC 236, Max moved to lightweight, losing a decision to Dustin Poirier in a war that saw him land 182 strikes. Later that year, he dropped the featherweight title to Alexander Volkanovski at UFC 245, a unanimous decision after landing 134 strikes to Volk's 157. Their 2020 rematch at UFC 251 was razor close. Many fans and ex-posts claimed Max won, but he lost another split decision, landing 171 strikes. A third fight at UFC 276 in 2022 saw Volkanovski dominate, though Max landed 129 strikes in defeat. Undeterred, Max delivered a masterclass against Calvin Kattar at UFC on ABC 1 in 2021, landing a record 445 significant strikes, dodging 74% of Kattar's shots, and shouting, "I'm the best boxer in the UFC." That fight earned Fight of the Year honors and reminded everyone of his greatness. In 2022, he TKO'd Yair Rodriguez at UFC Fight Night 197, landing 230 strikes despite a broken hand. Max's lightweight return came at UFC Kansas City in 2023, where he outstruck Arnold Allen for a decision, landing 141 strikes. But his crowning moment was UFC 300 in 2024, facing Justin Gaethje for the BMF title. With 10 seconds left, Max pointed to the center, traded bombs, and landed a right hand at 4:59 of round 5, knocking Gaethje out cold in what ex-fans dubbed the KO of the century. Max landed 187 strikes, earning a $600,000 bonus. His momentum hit a snag at UFC 308, where Ilia Topuria handed Max his first knockout loss with a third-round hook. Max landed 67 strikes, but couldn't match Topuria's power. Still, he walked out unbowed, vowing to return. Health setbacks also tested him. Concussion-like symptoms forced him out of UFC 226, and a dangerous weight cut cancelled UFC 223. Through it all, Max's style, high output, slick boxing, and iron chin made him a fan favorite. His 12 KOs, 10 decisions, and record-setting stats cement him as one of MMA's all-time greats, with every fight a testament to his blessed spirit. Most fighters fade after losing a throne, not Max. At UFC 300, in the greatest Fight of the Year contender ever, Holloway did the unthinkable. With 1 second left, already up on the scorecards, he pointed to the center of the octagon and brawled with Gaethje. The punch that dropped Gaethje cold wasn't just a knockout, it was a declaration. Max Holloway doesn't do comebacks, he does legends. Today, Max isn't just Hawaii's hero, he's MMA's eternal showman. The man who turned volume striking into art, the fighter who made Holloway versus Kattar a 25-minute symphony of violence, the champion who proved heart can't be taught, but it can be forged in the fires of Waianae. They'll tell you legends are born great. Max Holloway proved they're made round by round, and his story, it's far from over. Max is 33, he's got more fights, more KOs coming. The blessed era ain't over. From Waianae to the UFC, Max Holloway built a legacy with heart, strikes, and aloha. Champ or not, he's the people's fighter, and he's far from done. Smash that like button if you're team blessed, subscribe for more UFC stories, and tell us in the comments, what's your favorite Max Holloway fight? Mahalo for watching, this is The Blessed Story, and we're out.